And we're back. All right. So combat just wrapped up? Question mark. The duergar surrendered, and apparently you guys took the surrender. Nahesa was last in the acting order, though. So what are you guys doing now? As this duergar is standing there with his hands up.
I tell everybody, the other one used a spell. Could be anywhere.
Yeah,
anywhere that they have been before.
Can I?
Where'd your friend run off to?
While they're interrogating, can I cast locate object and see if I can find the crown?
Yes. Can you link locate object for me?
I will.
It's up thread in the.
No, I can just do it now.
Okay, thank you.
So is it 1,000 feet?
Oh, there's no test. You just say what object it is, and you know.
Yeah.
It is further away than 1,000 feet.
Okay, right. That's fine.
So Rix, you ask your question, and the duergar just looks at Rix, and then looks around for Nahesa, because that's the only person who has spoken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where are the other three? Yeah.
He was like a more sneezy type.
Yeah. Are you translating?
I'll just do straight translation for the next minute or two.
Perfect. If Durth used his helm, then they're probably back at the fortress.
In the spine?
Aye, the one and the same. The helm can only take them to and from the fortress and here, so that's probably where they went. I don't know where else they could connect it to. He's like, but they left me. They just left me here.
What were you all up to here? Not taking in the view, I assume.
View? No, Chardolin and laying low, waiting for the. And he looks at all of you. And he's like, well,
the big attack, yes.
Yes, for the attack to start, and once the attack started, we were to go into Easthaven and cause a ruckus and take out primary targets while the dragon was overhead.
I think.
Is there a signal that'll send anyone to come back here?
If Durth went back to the fortress, then they already know that you're here. They're not going to come back here.
Did you find any Chardolin?
Nay, no, nothing here.
Inside check.
Go ahead.
I mean, can you tell if someone's lying in another language?
Yeah.
I can see the sweat.
Sorry, no, I don't believe that at all. That makes no sense.
Cayleigh, you're confident that he's telling the truth. Okay. I would say with a 25, you'd be able to tell.
For 25, she's listening to his heartbeat.
24, maybe not, but a 25.
Yeah, I say he says he didn't find any, and you're like, scrutinize. All right. So it sounds like you got nothing to offer us then.
I told you where they were headed.
Do you think that I wouldn't guess that they would go back to where they're planning their big thing?
I answered. I'm sorry.
How does Durth fit into this whole picture?
Durth is Zardarok's oldest son, oldest of two, him and Ildar. And those of us that worked with him, Durth would say all the time that he was the favorite.
I might believe that.
I guess he is the one sort of competent duergar we've met so far.
There's still none of them. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I think his helmet was competent. I'm not sure about Durth yet.
He didn't choose to cast it. The helmet just did it on him.
Yeah. The helmet made the choice. And, are there any more of you left around here?
He's like, no, we would go out in shifts of two to search the town and keep tabs on the leaders. There was 6 of us total, and you got a Burna over there, and then the other 5 of them, or the other 4 of them, just left. And anything on the ship, no. We came here with the intent to keep a low profile. and so we didn't bring much with us other than what you see here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to start giving the ship a once over.
Okay. I'll take investigation.
Okay.
I'll pat this guy down and search his pockets, see if he's got any documents or anything on him.
Okay. He lets you, obviously.
Mhm.
And other than his weapons, and what you like, the kind of equipment that you would find in like an explorer's pack,
Mhm.
you don't find anything besides that. And
Good.
Bear in the cabin. Are you searching in the hold below as well?
Yeah, that's actually
Okay.
where I'm going to start out because I figured they've got the cabin taken care of.
Sure. Then I'll circle back to you then, because that'll take a little bit of time.
Yep.
Okay. What else up here in the cabin?
I'm gonna say I think pretty much done here, and I'm just gonna walk out.
I can't
I
go
think,
anywhere
I'm
because
gonna
no one
run
else
with-
knows the language, so I just stand around.
I'm gonna run with my head cannon that Rúna wasn't in that fight because distracted, and I'm shifted back into when you leave. You see that Runa's back in her Eladrin form, and she's like huddled up in a corner, like up here by like the bow of the ship, like doing like the fetal position, kind of like this. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And with her head like up against her knees, shaking.
Okay. I'll go up to Rúna and try to talk to her, but you can shift back to the cabin scene if you want.
Okay. Leif, Cayleigh, Bear, Nahesa.
Well, you know what I'm doing.
Sound like-
so
Oh,
Bear's
right,
in the
yeah,
hole.
sorry.
I think it's just the
That's
three
right.
of us.
I think
Um,
Cayleigh's just here to make sure that this guy is, yeah, we're gonna take him in for prison. Or whatnot.
Ship him off to Revel's End.
Reeve, what do you want to
Yeah.
do with him?
Yeah, Revel's End.
Revel's End.
Does this town even have a jail?
Probably has a jail.
Yeah,
but
it has a
not
small
according
jail.
to this
Yep.
guy.
they just chose not to use it and burn people instead.
Under new management.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's take
Uh,
him back to the jail and we'll have him shipped off to Revel's End. Although, to be
Okay.
I guess I'll tell him, like, you know, the good news is that you're going to a prison where you'll never be able to cast a spell for the rest of your life. Yeah, the bad news is you get to live, I guess. Yeah.
I think you got that backwards, friend. Then he'll
I go back to the inn.
sure. All right.
Yeah, so I guess I'll search up here in this cabin if no one else is doing it.
I'll take a investigation check.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Bear, the hold, when you go down there, you do see that, like, off to the side and towards the back of the ship, you see that there are the aft of the ship, you see that there are some crates and barrels, but when you inspect them, they're all, like, non-perishable supplies that you would expect to find on a ferry. So it's nothing that really kind of raises alarm, and you don't notice anything beyond that. Cayleigh, the cabin, like I said, it has their bedrolls. You can see. Yeah, you find a map the same as the one that Nildar had, and it's under one of the bedrolls, and it has the 10 towns, and it has the arrows pointing from one to the next, and it has the same date written on it. So, other than that, you don't really find anything of consequence.
Okay. All right, let's take him in.
All right. I'm going to move us back to the Easthaven map. And so the jail would be right across the square from Town Hall, and it's small. And there's like one guard that's there, like posted essentially. So you can take the duergar there, and he's surprised to see the duergar. and makes a remark about when Leif comes in with you guys and pulling this captive duergar. He's like, wow. He's like, you guys really don't waste any time, huh? You're just here for a day and already you're making all kinds of waves. And then he locks up the duergar in there. What else are you doing?
I don't know that I like this one. I give him the squint eye.
He avoids eye contact immediately and goes back to his work.
Roll insight. Dude's plotting something.
Either that or he's madly in love. Yeah, I guess the other thing we want to do here is check out the old guard's captain of the guard's house, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to ask the people at the Jow, actually, if they know where the wizard's stuff was when he came back from the expedition.
The one guard is locking the duergar up. He's like, oh yeah, Captain Arlagath hung on to that. As far as I know, they took all of the wizard's possessions and burned everything they could, but the spell book wouldn't burn, so she kept that under lock and key at her home.
Feel an itch on the back of my neck,
good.
but I don't know why.
Oh, you left already.
Wait,
Did you leave
I know,
already?
Yeah, I know. I'm in the lounge again.
Well, we
Interest
could-
intense.
It sounds like a challenge. It sounds like it wants us to burn it.
Well, we can kill two birds with. I'm sorry. We could peacefully knock out two birds with one stone.
All right, let's head over there, or at least that's where Cayleigh would like to go, I should say.
Okay.
I will get Nahesa, because the spellbook was mentioned. And there's probably, when we found the Lich's spellbook, was probably the only time Nahesa has been excited, in quotation marks, the entire journey. And that means, like,
her eyes are fully open.
Both eyebrows were raised, is the only way I could tell.
She was pretty excited when she heard the word tattoo, but then when she saw what was offered, she
Yeah, it
didn't
was like,
care.
yeah. But I'll tell
okay.
Nahesa we're going to go and look for see if the captain left the spellbook.
So the captain's house is it's along the lake shore, so it's not too far from town hall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's open and vacant. You guys are pretty much free to search through there.
I put a flag in the roof.
But as you're going through there, you see that she cleaned out pretty quickly and left town. There's you don't find any sign of a spell book. You do see that there was a small lockbox that was in the closet, but it is open and empty.
She didn't even cast spells.
True.
She could probably sell it for quite a bit, I would imagine. God
Yeah,
damn
this
it.
is
Well,
obvious.
I
This
know
is
where
no
we're
one
going
here has
next instead.
Bryn Shander.
Yeah, we know there's at least one spellbook in Bryn Shander. With the rest of the, how did we put it? How did Casey put it? Sacrificed enthusiasts.
So, oral apologists.
Oriel politics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we want to do? Do we want to go for the tower or do we want to go after this?
Yeah, let's go to the tower.
We don't really have any, other than we've got the direction and the distance, right?
Yeah, we know where
I
it
think
is.
isn't it on our map?
It's on our map as Bad Tower.
After
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
last night's session, like it was shortly after you logged off for the night, Dave, I did add it to the map because that is something that based on the information you would have gotten, you would have been
Okay.
able to tell where it was. So it is on the regional map.
Right. I'm going to go to the speaker.
Okay. Oh, I'll put us back.
Just before we go, I want to make sure he's got someone that can take charge.
Daneth is
Oh,
like,
Ready.
he's like, yeah, he's like, there are a few guards here that are exemplary in their duty. He's like, I'll see about grabbing one of them and manning your post in your stead. He's like, do you know how long you'll be gone?
I'm just going to get some cigarettes.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
Haven't
you own a
heard that one
lakefront
before.
house.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you come back here?
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully, only a couple of days, but we probably won't be stopping long until we go on to the duergar. These people need to be able to take over.
Yeah, I don't know
Permanently.
if we'll. Do you think we'll be back before the 22nd?
I mean, once
I
we
don't
go to
know.
the tower and clear that out, might it make sense to come back, or probably just keep moving
Ha-
to another
Can we
town?
see the other?
It wouldn't
Can
be
we
that-
see the map
can
so we
get
see how far
back
it
to
is?
the world map?
Yep.
Yeah.
While you're talking to Speaker Waylon, he's like, so where? He's like, I'm sorry, where did you find this duergar?
In the ferry, one of the boats on the ferry.
Ferry.
And it was just the one duergar in the ferry.
No, a few of them escaped by magic.
Escaped. Oh, do we know where?
Fortress.
Yeah, they've probably gone back to the duergar. That's our guess.
We know that that's where they can teleport to. Either the ferry or it was very specific.
Oh, that was lost in translation. Then I guess I missed that.
And he's like, the fortress where this
Dragon.
dragon is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what was the date again? It was the 22nd.
Yep.
Hold, please.
He's a,
22nd of Markmouth.
22nd is when they start moving, but they won't reach Easthaven immediately. Right?
Yeah, Easthaven was one of the last ones on the list, right?
No, it was third.
Oh,
Oh,
it's like,
third,
it's pretty
yeah.
early on the list,
Yeah,
but
it
still,
starts at
they go to
Dugan's Hole and
Dugan's
does
Hole.
a circle.
Yeah.
are you okay? So you guys are discussing the map.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have it
I'm
out
gonna,
for him?
I'm
to
gonna
see?
give him.
Yeah, I mean, I
the,
guess we
we've
let
got an
him
extra
copy
copy
it,
now. No,
right?
we've got an extra copy now, right?
Oh,
We've got the one we
Two
have,
copies, yeah.
and we've got the one
Yeah.
that we got from them, so they can have the other copy. The
So
one
he
that
takes it and he's looking at it and he's like, "Well, the two before Easthaven are Dugan's Hole and Goodmead." He's like, "These are small towns." He's like, "Dugan's Hole has a number of people fewer than 100." He's like, if this dragon is as big of a threat as you think, Dugan's Hole is not going to put up a fight, and it will not spend long there."
No,
Dugan's Hole is the first place we went to, right?
No.
we've never.
No,
been.
you've not
I
been
don't
to
think we've been
Dugan's
there.
Hole.
We
Nope.
haven't been there? Oh, okay.
No.
It seemed familiar for some reason.
We've only been
He's
to
like-
5 places or 5 towns.
Do you think
so
speaker
far.
to speaker, you could tell them to either be ready or leave?
He's like, I could do. He's like, I could either we could send a runner and tell them to do their best to defend the town. He's like, or I could request and open Easthaven's doors. But he's like, I also worry about our own chances. He's like, the 22nd.
But you've got people coming from Caer Dineval. We sent those messages yesterday to Caer Dineval
Yes.
and the Dwarven Valley.
And the Dwarven Valley, yes. He's like, and I sent out word too for a meeting of the speakers. He's like, in a 10-day. He's like, that doesn't give us much time. He's like, and if these duergar went from the ferry to the fortress, I'm assuming they saw you before they left.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, it
like,
was not our best work.
he's like, no judgment. He's like, but I worry that the 22nd might not be the target date anymore.
It's
He's like, what
possible.
if they leave before that? What if they leave while you're out on the tundra?
There's no point worrying about things we have no way to answer.
Rude.
True. I apologize. I'm sorry. So much has changed in the last
You
48
can only
hours. I'm
prepare
just-
as much as you can prepare, but you need to do it. Like I said to you yesterday, you've got no luxury of time for waiting.
Agreed.
Our hope is to stop this whole thing from happening, but you have to be ready in case that doesn't.
So we
Work
can
out
do
as
12
we
miles a day on the sleds, right? You said
8 miles. 8 miles a
8
day.
miles a day. So it's
Basically 2 days to get to.
2.5 days to get to the
'Cause you-
spire.
yeah, you-
tower last time.
Yeah, it did. Looks like it didn't save.
That was a joke. I wasn't serious because I revealed that and then I was like, oh shit, I should change the name.
Right.
And then I changed it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can travel for 8 hours a day is how it goes, and the dog sleds let you go a mile an hour. So
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we'll be back in no more than 7 days. If we're not back in 7 days, assume the worst. So you have to get
okay.
get everybody back from Dugan's Hole and Goodmead to Easthaven if you can.
Right.
If you're going to have a meeting of the speakers, I would not have it away from Easthaven or Caer Dineval.
Right.
And when the dwarves get here, if they have any suggestions on how to structurally improve the defenses, you listen to them.
Of course,
That's
he's like,
profiling.
They were
Unless they're
literally building shit.
he's like, unless they're going to build a wall around all of Easthaven, I don't know what more can be done.
Well, I saw this. I saw this cool show where they had these ballista. They're really good against dragons.
Someone's not using their Rúna voice.
You must be Tessa.
Yeah. Shut up,
You needed
Tessa.
That was so obvious.
Tissa doesn't have HBO Go, all right? Tissa only subscribes to Showtime. So she didn't see it.
The signal in Icewind Dale is very bad. The broadband in Icewind Dale is very bad.
They only get satellite up here.
I'm just gonna mute forever now.
Oh, jeez.
Mhm.
Okay.
If we're not back in 7 days, then you prepare for the worst.
Yeah, we're going treasure hunting, apparently.
He's like,
I don't actually say that.
okay. He's like, very well. He's like, yes. Well,
we need to get
best
2
of luck
levels in
and-
7 days is basically what we're aiming for. Okay?
Someone set up a community college so you can learn how to talk to your neighbors. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, let's make Nahesa the dean of that particular course, shall we?
Step 1, first level spells. Step 2, you have diplomas.
How to forge a diploma in 1 easy spell.
All right. Anything else that you wanted to do while in Easthaven?
Do they have dogs for the sleds?
Yeah, they would have a stables. They would have dogs.
I
We have
will.
dog.
Yeah, no, but I'm gonna swap Biankin out for some dogs,
Oh,
and
sure.
I'm gonna leave.
Swap out Bjorn.
You shut your face.
He
I
loved
don't.
us.
Does it? Who is gonna buy a bear?
No one's gonna buy a
partially
bear.
Trained bear.
No one's gonna buy a bear. I'm gonna give the speaker the whistle because he's clearly a sap, and teach him the murder whistle.
The whistle has 2 sounds: sit and murder.
Yeah.
Don't get
It's
them
like
mixed up.
Slam,
Yes.
slam cut to
Yeah.
the next morning. Speaker's walking around his house whistling to himself.
Yeah. No, this is like a golden when he starts clicking the pen.
The bear attacks from behind the fridge like
Two-
Kato from the
Is
Black
it 2
Panther
whistles
movie.
to arm the bear, or is it 1 whistle to arm the bear?
Arm the bear.
I'm gonna die.
Did
All
they
right.
deputize Bjornkin?
Huh? I did. This
This
town
my
is.
replacement.
This is the only person I trust is the bear. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave it. And I said if I'm gonna say before we leave, if I do come back in 7 days and something has happened to this bear, it will be called 9 Town.